aviation analyst Fabrizio Poli, who joins us now from Manchester. Fabrizio, good to have you on the show. All right, we could talk about the dollars, we could talk about the cents, but what does this announcement mean for the passengers? How many people are likely to be affected by all this?
Well, obviously, they operated 60 aircraft, so all over the UK, connecting to Europe and that. So a lot of people have, booked flights, paid for flights, and then now they have to go and get their money back. So it is causing a bit of disruption, that for sure.
Okay. Tell me what option I have if I'm on vacation and a company, an aviation company, goes bankrupt and I'm supposed to be flying with them. What options do I have?
Well, first of all, it depends how you booked your flight. Did you book through a travel agent? Which airline did you book for? How did you pay for the flight? In certain situations, you pay with a credit card, you can get your money back and then book with another carrier. But of course, it depends where you are, because there are some airports which have a lot of flights going to where you need to go. There are other airports that have very few flights. So you have to be careful how you plan your trip, and you have to be careful really which airlines you choose to fly on. Because, these things do happen. But, it's been out there for a few months now that Flybe were in a bit of financial difficulty. So anybody that was booking a flight with Flybe should have sort of thought about, potentially the airline going bust while they were away on a trip.
So read the fine print is what you're saying. All right, what about the staff? What happens to them?
Well, right now in the industry, there's a bit of a shortage of experienced staff in the pilot market and that. So I think that these people will find jobs quite quickly. They may not be locally. So, some, I don't know, pilot living in Belfast, for example, may have to relocate somewhere else. But certainly there are plenty of jobs out there right now, both in the airline industry and also in the private jet industry. So I think, give it 3 or 4 months, and I think most of these people will have employment.
Okay. I'm going to take you back 3 or 4 months, or perhaps even further. Thomas Cook went bankrupt there. What sort of impact will Flybe's demise have on the industry? Because we're seeing a lot of bankruptcies in regional carriers and low-cost carriers lately. What's behind this?
Well, making money in the airline industry is very difficult. It's very difficult. And there's only a handful of airlines throughout the history of aviation that have actually made money. I mean, the low-cost model has worked for certain airlines. Look at EasyJet, Ryanair, Southwest Airlines in America. I mean, the guy that created JetBlue is now about to launch his 5th low-cost airline, and they've all been very successful. And he's had a low-cost, David Neilman we're talking about. He's had airlines in Canada, United States, Brazil. He's about to launch another one. So there are ways of making money, but it's very, very difficult. You've got to get your model right. And I think Flybe were mixing things a bit too much, which is why they ended up going the way they went. As far as the other charter airlines, they've obviously been attacked by airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet, with a low-cost model, flying flights like from Manchester to Tenerife, for example, which used to be done by charter airlines. I used to work for a charter airline out of Manchester, flying to Tenerife, and then as soon as Ryanair sticks themselves on that route, they pick up the passengers. So that's kind of what's happening. There's a change happening throughout the industry, and like in every industry, things are moving so fast these days that if you don't move fast yourself and you're not ahead of the game, you're gonna lose the battle and you're gonna go bust. It's just the way business is going.
You snooze, you lose. All right, Fabrizio, thank you for joining us here on Chair 2 World.